Hey everyone, my name is Rowan and I'm here for another reading vlog. For this one, I'll be discussing my thoughts on Salvage the Bones by Jesmyn Ward. Look in the comments for the transcript. And let me first give a content warning. This book and so this vlog contains mentions of teenage sex and pregnancy, statutory rape, dogfighting, and dog death. Like the other two books that I gave my thoughts on, this is a book that contains more than the obvious presence of storms, but also the great importance that comes with womanhood. Womanhood is a topic that is intrinsically linked with every aspect of the book. From Esh, the main character, having lost her mother when she was young, to discovering that she's pregnant and living with the facts, seemingly alone for the few days that this book takes place over. The womanhood that Esh is thrust into isn't just because of her age, but because of the life that she's experienced. Having lost her virginity at 12 and becoming hypersexual because of it, which we can assume is because of the lack of parental figure or due to education, but it's likely both, Esh is making life decisions that no child her age should have. We can estimate that she's actually about 15 to 16 years old, and as we learn through the dialogue, Manny, the bastard who knocked her up, is approximately 20. That alone raises a dozen red flags. So I'm not going to get into that because that would take far too long, and what I do want to talk about would be the womanhood that Esh wasn't introduced to. I say that she wasn't because she didn't have her mother and she only had her brothers and her dad. While her brothers were amazing, she was incredibly close to Skeet. Esh did not have who she needed to know that her actions were wrong and that there are better things in life to do. Esh was madly in love with Manny, or as in love as any young teenager can feel they are, because haven't we all been there? Thinking we love someone but not being grown and thus too naive to really know what love is. She discovered she was pregnant in the days leading up to Hurricane Katrina. In the 12 days that this book takes place, there is much that happens. We see Esh come to terms with the fact that she's pregnant, having not thought about it for so long until it became harder for her to ignore. The beginning of the book is an entire section dedicated to birth. This birth is by China, the family dog. I say family dog, but it can quite easily be declared Skeeta's. China is giving birth at the beginning, and she's a pit bull that's a fighting dog. Yet again, something else that would take an entire vlog to discuss. And she's giving birth to her first litter. Every instance of the puppies being born is Esh actually comparing it to the birthing of her baby brother. And that traumatic event was the one that killed her mother in the process. These are the instances of womanhood, of motherhood that Esh is exposed to up at this point in her short life. Esh doesn't actually really see herself, or even recognize herself as a woman yet. She hardly regards herself throughout the entire book, and we can get through the entire first chapter, which is really just a day, without even knowing her name. And from when she learns that she is pregnant, she only sees the belly that she knows the baby to be in. She says things like, the baby sits in a water balloon in my stomach and it pushes back, water, flesh, and warm. It seems that her view of it may be acknowledging that it is and will be a baby, but a disconnect from what it means for her and what it would become. The women in this book are all of three: Esh, her mother, and China. These three are intrinsically woven with one another. Esh regards her mother and China as being these strong women, ideas that are helping her to come to terms with what she will become. She can't help to compare herself to China at times, such as when she fights Manny, and even the very last sentence in the book. It could be said that China is a main character, and cannot be said to not actually be a major point. Esh gives us a view of China that we may never have considered. By her viewpoint of China, we are able to grasp the ideas that Esh is starting to form for herself. She's taken information from how China raises and acts with her puppies and gaining as much information that she can for when she will eventually become a mother. We can briefly discuss how she only momentarily considered aborting the baby with the ideas that she had heard. It's truly curious how she doesn't consider it more, given that she's aware of her current situation of being food insecure and poor. She may feel this way because it is a connection that she has with her mother who passed when she was only 8 years old. She may think that this would bring her happiness that she's not yet achieved. She has seen her worth in sex and what men can get from her. It's no surprise that this is just another way for her to see her own worth. But anyways, she sees China and watches her because she doesn't have another woman in her life. Certainly not a mother who can show her what it's like to be one. Not to say that Esh will kill her baby or get tired of them, as China shows. China is only a dog after all. She honestly sees China as a great being, as someone strong and capable, similar to how she saw her mother, and so someone that she looks up to. Esh doesn't know her worth, and we can infer that she wants to be as great and strong as what she's seen before. She gains the support of her brother, and it turns out Skita has always known that she was pregnant, and her father. This gives her the strength to start to see herself in the way she views China and her mother. She will know that I have kept watch, that I have fought. China will bark and call me sister. In the suffocated sky, there is a great waiting silence. She will know that I am a mother. This is probably the most vital part of the book and the story we're told. We see that Esh becomes that woman we did not see 2 weeks prior in the story. She becomes a woman through watching the fierceness of China and the memory of her mother. She doesn't see herself as alone anymore, and it's true that it takes a village to raise a child, which she quickly learns she actually has. So, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I've given you a bit to think about if you choose to pick up Salvage the Bones by Jesmyn Ward.